are you? Okay, hopefully.
I actually did a loop. So what I was going to do is
He's going to send
they can be from the It is 29.99. So, have you used them? I have the variable. I have not looked at it. I haven't looked at one of my very expensive days. So,
I forgot.
So which one is mine?
Quarter each.
So, we getting close?
I am working on
There was a bunch of I can tell in the center of their die.
Good answer.
They were supposed to essentially slot
the price guide? Yeah, it makes a lot of
but it's happening.
Hey, is that how you tricked him into coming? By offering him free stuff? Him, yeah, Aram. Whatever works. I fully support it. Keep trying that. See how many times it works. Okay. So who do we have remote? Type in the chat so I can see who we have watching. Well, as soon as Sam's done goofing around talking, we can start. This is great. Glad everybody could come out. We got some new faces, a lot of familiar faces. Let's go around the room and have people introduce themselves for those of us that may be new. And usually the first thing we do at the start of meetings are welcome new people that want to join us. So Tom, you want to just say, hi, I'm Tom, or whatever.
Good evening. I'm Tom Klein. You probably may have guessed.
Yep. Okay,
That's it. I'm John Silvernail.
good to see you, John.
I'm Dennis Greenhalgh, I live in Farmington.
Okay,
I'm Taylor Thomas.
okay. Taylor, you just applied to join, or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to put faces with names and so forth. Well, good to meet you, Taylor. We'll have you talk more in just a minute. Tell us about yourself.
People under 50.
Well, we let Sam in, so we have to make some exceptions.
He's trying to fix the demographic.
Hey, gotta keep the hobby alive.
That's right.
So who do you got next to you?
I'm Levi Thomas' brother.
Okay.
I'm
So,
their dad, and
Okay.
I signed them both up. They
Great.
wanted to fly. These are my parents, and this is my brother Mark, my
oh,
older brother Mark. He's been flying forever. We're just gonna try to start flying with him. We just need a place to crash planes, so.
well, we have the perfect place for that.
Ben's proved it.
Yes, over and over. Great. Well, welcome, all of you. So, Dave,
Dave Parker.
and he is our safety officer.
Cop.
Yeah, he's the top cop. Okay, Aaron?
Yeah, sure you don't crash on the ladies' horse field.
Yeah.
Aaron Haney, I live in Woods Cross. I got a lot of low power stuff, so I'm not real active in it, but I like to get out when I can.
That's great.
When I can.
And by low powered, you mean,
Glow, just
Low.
oh, glow powered. I'm like, low powered? What? Who wants that?
I got a lot of dusty stuff too, so.
Talk to the sign up flyer.
Yeah.
I'm Sam, I'm the secretary, so.
Hey.
So.
Mike?
O'Neill, Bill Marshall.
And I have no lobby.
Doug Titler, sir.
Doug, how we feeling? We doing good?
Well, I'm about 1,000 times better than I was this time last month.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
But we got a little way to go just yet. The shakes are going away slowly.
Yeah.
Surely.
Well, we're glad you're here, for sure. Mark?
I'm Mark Collins.
Okay. Jaron?
Jared Page.
This guy I haven't seen in way too long.
Can open shop?
Good to see you, Kenny.
Good to see you.
I want all of you to know that I had to send a direct text to Kenny to get him to show up tonight. But it was worth it, because he came.
I didn't see the camera out there.
No, I got it pulled off.
So-
I wasn't gonna go camping. I wasn't gonna go camping tonight though.
Oh, well, you
And-
still got time.
Well, we decided not to.
Oh, okay.
Just be lazy instead.
Kenny's diehard. He's got his camper and he's going out all the time.
And I'm Jeff Easton.
Okay? Jeff's our new vice president. Don't forget that. He's humble and he's great. Jeff is very responsible for us having the new field that we have. He helped orchestrate all that. Last but certainly not least.
I don't do anything, although I did watch Kenny dodge his helicopter today.
Tried to kill me today.
I haven't seen him move
It
that
was a
fast.
test flight. And it was terrifying. He tried to kill me. I decided I'd just quit while I was ahead and go home.
That's why I don't do those helicopter things. They're not worth it.
And my snow plane is no longer, it went
Oh, no.
straight in due to stripped servo gears.
Oh,
So
no.
the crash place works very well.
The ground's not that soft.
Luckily, I risked my pickup truck.
Oh, good.
I'm Rich Vernon, Kaysville.
Yep, and he is the commander in chief because he's the best dressed, right?
I guess so. So then I'm in charge of the meeting?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right, and I'm Ben Harkness, and glad you're all here tonight. So let's take a minute. So do we have their actual applications. This is going to be official tonight. Okay, so what we do.
Applications and paid.
Oh, and paid. Wow. Okay, good. Well, we have you introduce yourselves. Just tell us a little bit about you and what you like to fly, that kind of thing, and then we have to make it official, so we'll vote you in and make it official. So, Taylor.
Yeah. So I've been flying for a while, since I was probably, I mean, not like a long time, obviously not that old, but maybe since I was 10 or so. Got one of those little trainer ones like this big and crashed that into the ground. Now it's my glider. I haven't bought any big planes yet. I've been I'm looking to maybe build a bigger plane, but all my bigger ones I've inherited from my Uncle Mark.
Nice.
I kind of fixed them back up.
They give you this crash one.
Yeah.
Everybody needs an uncle like that.
Definitely.
That's great.
I have a 3D printer, so I've been printing some parts for the planes and stuff. One of them, I printed a new nose cone for it because it was missing the nose, and that worked out all right. And then another one, I had an extra servo slot, so I made a little trap door on the bottom so I can take stuff up and drop it.
Nice.
But, yeah.
That's fun. And that's really what this hobby is all about, just getting creative and engineering and having fun. There's a lot of engineers in this room, a lot of nerds. So you're in good company.
It takes double E to spell geek.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Okay.
Levi. I haven't really done much at all with airplanes, actually. He's the main one.
Okay, but he's dragging you into this willingly, or?
I got
Grandma is.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't really willing tonight. We had a dragon here.
Oh, okay.
But we're hoping that he'll fly with his brother and his son.
Yeah. Well.
You'll get sucked right in.
Yeah, you'll get addicted. I will point out that the transmitter does have 2 controllers on it, just like other things. Sorry. So you'll hopefully you get in and enjoy it, and it becomes a lifelong addiction like the rest of us. Okay, well, all in favor of welcoming Levi? One more, sorry. Mark?
Yeah. Like his airplane, but it's battery operated.
Oh, great.
And I'm trying to paint some old airplanes though. There's a P-51 that I've had there for a long time, that's been sitting there. And then there's one with this battery operated, but I don't have a remote for it. It's a P-51, but then there's everything else is, what is it? I don't know.
I can speak for Mark. Mark has been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's had encephalitis when he was 14, so he has a few struggles that he has to overcome, and these kids are helping. But he likes to fly. He has 2 great big ones that we'd like to get up and going for him, but he flies these small ones in our circle, in our neighborhood. And we just recovered 2 of them that have been lost in people's yards.
That's great.
He has a good time. He's pretty good at it with the little ones, so we'd like to get him have a place where he can have some fun.
Since I tried the helicopters and I still have problems.
Well, you're in good company.
That's when I stopped.
Yeah. Those helicopters, they are fun, but they're a challenge. I struggle with those myself, for sure. Okay.
I'm going to try to kill me today. Chase me for a bit. When he said, that looked mighty scary, I said, yeah, I'm still shaking a little bit. I decided to
I've never seen Kenny move that fast.
I'm pretty quick when I'm getting chased.
Oh, that's too funny. All right, well, let's make this official. We got Taylor and Levi and Mark, all those that I nominate them to join our club.
Second.
Okay, everyone in favor? Okay, unanimous. You are good to go.
Good thing, because they pay.
How about grandma and grandpa, did they sign up?
Well,
Grandpa has a whole bunch that he's made, but after the very first one he made that he crashed,
He just hangs them in the garage
Yeah.
of the house. He doesn't fly them anymore.
Oh, yeah, we all do that.
Yeah, there's some of us that like to build more than fly, some of us like to fly more than build. There's different parts of it.
Yep,
So, to each his own.
yep. Well, and half the fun of this this group is, you know, what's right here in the room. You'll meet guys out there and make friends and get help with something that you're struggling with, and I mean that's what it's all about. Other than just a good place to fly, I keep coming back out for the people. This is a good group of guys for sure. Except for maybe Dave, I don't know.
Well, you keep coming out because you can't fly.
All right. Oh, and I should mention we have 3 or 4 guys online. We have Dale Crockett, Steve Anderson, Ronnie, and that's it. But they're joining us virtually tonight. Dale said he got his second COVID shot, and he says it didn't even phase him, so he's doing good.
They need one of those little robots like on the TV show.
Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, they need to like
The screen so we can see
cruise
him.
around the room and bump into people next time.
Wear a shirt.
Yeah, we need to get in one of those for next time.
Well, I'm really hoping that we're getting close to getting to the tail end of this thing, and we can, you know, next month we'll actually meet together at the airfield. So, you know, we can have another fun fly, and I'm thinking we got to fire up the barbecue, and we'll have a good time. So hopefully we can make that happen. All right. Well, for you guys, talk to Sam. He'll get you all the details. I don't know if you already have the gate code, but there's a code to the gate so you can get in and out whenever you want. Just, you know, try and make sure you put things away that you get out and leave it locked when you go, and enjoy it. We're glad to have you guys. So
If you roll the carpet out, just leave it rolled up.
that's right. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. We got a lot of work to do out there, guys. That last windstorm, we got some of that AstroTurf put back, but there's still quite a bit to do. We got to get resituated. So we'll get into that in just a minute. I was going to have Neil give us a financial update and a membership update, but it looks like he got held up and didn't make it tonight. So I'll just tell you, we have some money and a few members. Past that, I don't know. We'll try and when Sam sends out the meeting minutes and the email wrap up of this, we'll try and give you those details, tell you exactly where we're at. I know we still have quite a few that are not registered, or even viewers, but that don't have their AMA membership renewed. So if everyone would try and stay on top of that, we have to turn in the club charter to the national organization here soon. So it's really helpful if we know who's planning on renewing, and we can put them on the roster, and then we don't have to do the catch up afterwards. So enough said about that. Well, let's,
52 current members pay.
52?
Right now.
Okay. There we go. And I know, hey, Zach, made it. Sweet.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
This is Zach.
I'm an airplane hauler.
Here's Zach.
Oh, yeah, here's the chair here.
Here's the chairs over here.
Hey, you betcha. Okay, well, let's talk about the field. Mike, what are your thoughts? Where are we at? What do you think?
I've been such a lame field officer. I earn it in the summer, I swear I do.
He does, for sure.
My whole understanding of the field condition right now is on the chat from Dave Parker's photos. So I know it's wet, I know that you need to stay off that geotex when it's wet, because you have footprints in the mud underneath and you drive into holes. Especially for you new people, so you understand that the geotex is the black material that's on the infield and the runway. You can walk all over the turf, all over the parking lot, as much as you want, but that field does have some very, very soft spots. So when you see water out there, very gingerly, only recover your airplane if you have to, taxi it off, and things like that. I do know that we have at least one flight station built and getting ready to be delivered to the field. We still have promises for several more. I do still plan on building the shed come springtime. Aside from that, turf. That's just the ugly subject. Resolve it, we talk about it every month. And I just think we're gonna have to weigh it down with sand or rubber pellets or something.
Yeah.
Last time Brent talked about, getting some rebar J-hooks.
Yeah.
And, driving 18-inch J-hooks down in to keep it.
And we can still try that. I do have the club card, so anything you guys want. Neil's never checked me on it at all. Rarely go ahead and have to turn in a receipt, he trusts me so much. I shouldn't say that. But we can try that. I can weld some washers on the top, so J, so we can drive them, with a hammer. We can try all of that. And whatever we do, man, let's just do it one more time.
Yeah. I agree.
It's rough on everybody.
Just a suggestion, I don't know if anybody's talking about it, but what if we try burying the edges with something so the wind doesn't get underneath it?
Yeah, I even thought about like a steel channel or PVC, taking PVC and ripping it on the solid work and cutting a channel in it like a C, so that we can be a little softer than steel, something rounded, and then drive stakes into PVC. It's all to be, especially the leading edge along the runway. That's the one that picks up and leads the rest of it to
and I think usually the wind comes from the east.
Yeah, these 1,000-pound sections of turf pick up and float away in the wind. It's amazing to watch. We gotta figure it out.
So we have a couple of them that are really in the way, and I'd really like to get those moved back even this weekend if we can. Is it supposed to be okay tomorrow? When does that next storm come in? Snowing tomorrow?
I think it's Sunday.
Sunday? Okay.
I think so.
Well, I know next week is supposed to be good, like even warmer temperatures. So let's all try and clear an afternoon, evening next week, and let's get 8 or 10 guys back out there to move those last pieces around and try and at least get them back in place, and then we'll come up with a better engineered solution for the next big windstorm.
By then I can go pick up some rebar. It's fairly cheap, some washers, and just weld up something longer, so 12-inch or 24-inch, whatever. And,
okay.
Drive those on that leading edge. And
hopefully we won't have another windstorm like that past the east one for a couple more years.
I know.
Yeah, we said that once before.
We've had smaller breaks that have done almost as much damage.
That's what's so crazy is
that turf just blows right to the parking lot.
Yeah.
There's no wind protection out there. I mean, you go outside of your house and you're like, oh, it's not too bad, but it's always 3 times windier out there than it is outside.
That is high ground.
6 feet higher than we were in the old place.
Yeah.
It's exposed.
Yeah. Well, let's put some more thought into that and a more permanent solution. I like your idea, Mike, of let's get some rebar, at least for some corners, some heavier anchors. Chris and I bought like 200 more of the steel spikes before the last storm, and we recovered nearly all of those. So we can just hit that edge really heavy with those, plus some of the big ones. And I think if it stays down long enough, it's going to kind of settle into the ground a little bit if it gets moist. And
well, over at the other place, you had some weeds and stuff grow into it. Then you had to really rip it out off the ground over there.
Yeah, we had more sediment, we've had more dust, more whatever.
Yeah, it was really almost glued down. It really took a lot to get those up.
Nobody put salt water on it over there either.
True.
We have some.
But we fought the weeds a lot more.
True.
I know.
True. Well, so we'll try and do that sometime late next week when it warms up, and we'll get everybody out there together.
Yeah, there's a big piece off as you're coming up the hill in that ditch, and that's gonna be fun to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, if you get about 10 guys with good pliers, it's really not that hard to do, but you need that many people to move those big heavy pieces.
Yep, true. So, but we appreciate all those that have helped do that. I want to get that one that's rolled up off the runway too, because that's a perfect obstacle for those that are directionally challenged on takeoff. So let's see. I think that covers it on the field. I can't think of anything else we got going up. Hopefully we can move the porta potty back down out of the middle of the parking lot at some point too, but got to probably wait until it dries out a little bit.
Who made the decision to move it back up there?
Not anybody that I know of.
McBride, and what does McBride told him to put it back?
I think it was John McBride, because the guy that was servicing it almost got stuck. There was some pretty big ruts down there, and he was worried about getting stuck. So the guy that was servicing it asked if we could move it up. And I think, I'm not sure if it was him that actually did it, but he asked. I think he called John.
Yeah.
And John said, well, if you can't service it, we're gonna have to.
Is it really that much of a problem to be where it is? I put a spool behind it so the wind didn't push it into the.
It makes it hard for anybody with a truck because you can't pull it.
Too bad.
I mean, those of us that have those great big Ford Focuses. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe we can come up with a better spot for it that's not so far down off the thing that's closer, that's still out of the parking lot area.
By the shed.
Yeah.
You know, a little more, but we want to get the shed dealt with before we start walking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obviously fine for now, but once we get busy, you know, we got to use that whole parking lot. It gets pretty full, so. Okay. I already talked a little bit about the charter renewal that's coming up. Have you started on that paperwork? Did you at least look through it a little bit? Yeah. Okay. It's all good. Talk to him, Sam, for a minute about these airplanes that you got donated.
So these planes here were donated by, I think Doug. His brother was a member of NERCAC up in Ogden. And he happened to pass away and had lots of planes, and these were the two planes that he was willing to donate to help the club out, you know, whether it's new members learning how to fly, somebody that wants to get further into nitro or move over onto gas kind of thing from electric, then that's what these are for. And so he said, yeah, you can take them for the club, no problem. So that's kind of the story of these. They both have receivers in them, so they're pretty close to ready to go for whatever we're going to do with them.
Do you know what kind of receivers?
Yeah, we got Spectrum in them, I believe. I think, let's see, I'll tell you right now.
So my suggestion was going to be to put everyone that's joined in the last 6 months or whatever into a hat and draw it out of there. I don't know if anybody has a hard time with that. I mean, essentially they need to go to somebody in the club, and you know, we want to see them go to somebody that's starting out. And
so this one here has an AR6210 with satellite, and this one's an AR600 no satellite.
So yeah. Or is there another idea, suggestion anybody wants to throw out? I mean, it's
your suggestion.
It's club property, so I want to see it go to a good cause, and I'd love to see these guys.
Most of the seasoned pilots would need a beginner. That's a beginner aircraft.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Sam had the idea that we keep it as a club plane to, like, train new guys that want to, but then you got the problem of
worry about maintaining it.
who keeps it, who stores it, who fixes it, who owns, then it's kind of for me, I think it's more fun to offer it as an incentive to the new guys. So.
Absolutely.
Are we okay with that?
I think so.
Okay. Who has a pen?
I've already got something.
Okay, you got something?
Names.
You got the names.
So far, I've got.
We have Zach.
Levi, Taylor, Mark, Jaron, Zach.
I don't need a nitro.
He's like, no.
I'm not ready to jump into that.
Convert it over, Zach. Come on. Put a 60-sided loader on the.
You're turning down a chance of a
That's okay. Don't worry about me.
All right.
He's a one plane at a time guy.
I'm trying. I have 4 of them now. I can't get rid of them.
We could convert one to electric.
Yeah.
Make it a co-trainer with a buddy box and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got tactic transmitter and receivers. If you wanted a transmitter and receiver to go with it,
mm-hmm.
And use it as a club trainer or something like that.
Make it hang in the new shed.
I mean, whatever you guys think. That sounds complicated to me.
Right now, if the club keeps one, it's down to 25%.
What's that?
Did you see what they wanted to do on there?
No, they're not piping up. So, well, let's give at least one of them away.
Okay. Right now?
Let's do it right now.
All right.
Are you spinning a wheel or something?
I don't trust that.
It's rigged.
It's rigged.
Okay, where to go?
Best 2 out of 3.
Taylor.
Sweet.
You ready for a big gasser like that?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
I ain't spending money.
So what kind of transmitter do you have? Are you going to be able to use the receiver in there?
I have, right now, it's just a DXE Spectrum.
Yep, that'll work.
So you should be able to bind it right up and throw some gas in there. And
Yeah, I've even got a spare receiver if the receiver in it didn't work. That would probably work.
So-
Receivers will work with that.
they should work.
Well, there's some guys in the squad too that's got some experience with the trainer blocks, or doing the
Buddy box.
buddy blocks.
Right. We have to do it for Dave all the time. Okay. So here,
Especially when he's sitting in the chair
right.
with the goggles on.
So here's my suggestion. How about we do this? Let's give the other one away, but then we'll say, your job as new club members is to get these fixed up and functioning and to learn how to fly them good enough that you can train the next generation of new flyers as they come in. How about that?
If you don't crash it, what?
Don't crash it. No, that's not allowed. No crashes
There's 2
allowed.
kinds of planes: planes that never fly and planes that crash.
That's
So,
exactly right. Okay,
Let's
so
go through, put everybody's name in to see who's taking the other one home tonight for that as well.
okay, I'm fine with
Let's
that.
just go
Around
around.
the room, do we want to win this one?
Well,
Sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Okay, so let's do this.
Is that what I heard?
Let's do this. If you want to be added in with the new guys, raise your hand and we'll add you in. If you're willing to take that responsibility.
I just convert it.
I just don't have
Mike.
Mike and Dave, I like this. This is going good.
I think I've got a 46 electric motor.
Okay.
I got a 60.
Okay, Mike wins.
That thing is going 8S. You got the time.
Whatever.
Are we gonna?
You backing out now, Mike?
I would if they want.
Well, let's find out. Here we go. Pick a random name.
I don't know.
Oh, no. I
I'm like, can you kill me?
Okay.
My wife is gonna crap herself.
Perfect. Couldn't happen to a nicer
Hey, why don't
guy.
we make that one electric, make it available to everybody, I'll fix it up.
Perfect.
It's gonna be awesome. You, the electric one, why not?
Okay.
I got a buddy box.
Get excited.
That sounds really good. Well, that takes us through all of the official club business. Now let's get to the fun part and let's do show and tell. Let's see what you guys brought.
I'd like to show you my new neck star.
It's supposed to be something that flies, Mike.
You gotta stand out here in the middle.
Mine is not as pretty as this other.
You got to stand in the middle and throw it as far as you can get it to fly.
So this is thanks to our buddy Ron Escher. He posted this up on our chat group and offered it up to club members for $150. And I was the first one to reply.
Wow.
And he was on it, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Ben replied 2 minutes later.
What engine does it have?
It's got an FA100 Sato 4-stroke.
Oh.
And it had no compression, but it does now. But it has a tick.
That's normal.
So, took it apart. Valves are stuck open. Lifters are stuck. Cleaned it all up. Put it all back together. Looked online how to time it. So hopefully it's good. Just worked out the wrinkles. All the wrinkles are coming out. Still have the fuselage to do. And then this is something good for everybody just to do your pre-flight. Sorry, as you
You're
can't
fine.
see, but the whole horizontal stabilizer is not glued in. So if it flew before, I don't know how it went. And then I also realized that the elevators are not glued in as well.
Oh.
So
That's not
I
important.
pre-flighted it from there forward. It's good to go. And I posted the other day that it's ready to go, but I realized that today.
What retracts it have?
Just mechanical retracts. And what was weird is it had that Futaba receiver in it. And pulled that out and I put my Spectrum in there and turned it on. Everything centered. Every surface moved the correct direction.
Oh, wow.
That never happens.
I set my flaps and the retracts. I haven't had to make adjustments but a few clicks on my radio.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
What airplane is it?
I don't know. I was wondering if anybody could identify it. I was going to set it up with throws similar
I'll take
to
the P-51.
the Phoenix Corsair. And then I'm gonna do those and then maybe do a third higher rate one. I want it to be a little higher performance. But yeah, pretty excited.
It really looks like a Hangar 9 Mustang that's been recovered.
Does it?
I had one that's identical.
I would probably just pull up that manual and use those throws then. So, but yeah, it is a good find, and I sure appreciate Ron for letting it go for a good price.
Thanks, Ron, if you're still on.
Good job.
Oh, yes. Steve had a good reminder on here that I need to interject really quick. I tried my level darndest to get Dustin to print those dang bloody wonder plans for today.
He did text me and message me for the plans yesterday, so he has them.
He does have them, but he's had them for 8 months.
Well, he maybe resent them to me yesterday.
Yeah. So, I will commit to having copies of those plans available. Somebody write this down. Within 2 weeks, I will get those plans available to whoever messages me that they want to build one.
So I can get 8, quarter, and 3/8 split sheets, $5, $6, and $7 for a 4-foot by 4-foot piece.
Okay. Perfect. Get them.
As many as you want.
1/8 inch.
1/8, quarter, or 3/8.
Okay. If you guys want to build it out of whatever you want, we use 1/8 inch. We did 3x4 sheets, so 4x4 is even better. But perfect. So
if I had a digital file, he could actually even cut the profile out for you.
Oh,
So,
wow. I can send you what we got. I mean, I think it's only, is it?
That would be awesome.
Laser cut pieces.
That would be awesome.
Jaren's like, what the heck?
I had shaky hand Ben over here, didn't I?
You get what you pay for, buddy. Okay, back to show and tell. Sorry, I will get those plans out and we will get those materials in. So for new guys, we did a fun thing probably 5 years ago-ish that you've heard of Flight Test, how they build all those crazy things out of that foam board. We've picked one as a group and we all built these planes. And we have just had so stinking much fun flying those together at the same time. We have these big fur balls.
Aerial combat.
Yep, with these planes, and it is just a riot. So we're now moving on. We want to keep that going, but some of us have taken that to a step further. We've enlarged this to a bigger size plane, and I can give you all the details if you're up for building this. They fly incredible, and they are just a hoot. So,
hey Ben, you already got your message over there. I just sent one.
Oh, sweet.
21 flag.
Okay, it's coming. Dave is first in line.
There you go.
So,
2 weeks. Plans in my hand, right?
Yep, 2 weeks. Or my name is Elmer Fudd. So, I will get them from Dustin. I will make them available. Anyway, back to show and tell. We got some more cool stuff over here. So,
Jeff, you got yours on the table. Why don't you go?
Well, I've been kind of in building mode, right? So for Christmas, my wife actually gave me this kit. It was my first balsa build from this flat sheet. This was a Stevens Aero kit. Super light wing load. I took it out, maidened it, trimmed it up. Holy smokes, it flies really well. It's a great little model. It has some fun things. It's got a magnetic latch, battery access. It was a really fun one to build. And so
What's it called?
This one is called a Groove. It's a G480 is what they called it. And I had some fun with the covering system. As you all know, I like to do the covering, so I got a little creative with doing the covering on that. So that one was really fun, and it really got me thinking that I wanted to do some more building. And lo and behold, I ran across somebody on KSL that was selling some old, they called them vintage kits. And this sailplane right here was one of the, I bought both kits for like $40. It was pretty good deal. And this 2 meter sailplane was one of them, and I just barely finished building it and covering it. And in fact, an hour and 10 minutes ago, I flew it for the first time down at the field. And of course, I hit the throttle while it was on the ground and broke the prop. But it flew really well. Just needed about 4 clicks of rudder adjustment, and it flew really well. It's really fun. I did a few things on it that were kind of optional. I made the wing tips all removable. So they had an option for how to do that. I went ahead and did it. And you basically put it in and just put a little piece of tape on it to keep them in. The other thing was originally it had rubber bands that held the main wing on. I converted it to a screwed down setup with a nylon screw. So this has been really fun to build. I spent a bit of time with the covering system, but I like how it turned out. And then this last little thing was one thing that my kids gave me for Christmas that has been amazingly fun. This is called a Power Up. It's a little twin prop power module that you can put onto a paper airplane. You put it onto a little balsa. Flight Test even has some little foam planes that this module fits on, and it flies on Bluetooth. And so you fly it from your phone. And in fact, it does differential thrust, so you can do tight turns and everything with it, but it works off the accelerometer in your phone. So you just tilt your phone for it to make the changes again. So
how difficult is it to fly?
It took probably 4 or 5 tries to get used to the fact that you're flying it with your phone. You know, you touch down and you slide your thumb forward and back for throttle, and then the tilt is the thrust. And but this thing I've flown it for 8 minutes. On one charge, you just charge it with a little USB charger. But it's a hoot. So if you want something that you throw in your glove box and just pull out and play around, it's really, really fun. I recommend it.
Now, not to complain, but we said show and tell a plane. That's 3.
Sorry, I got carried away.
It's not really 3.
It's 2 1/4.
So is that the Electra model?
This one is the Electra.
They got a sister model called the Gentle Lady.
So it's actually, if you look at the plans, it's exactly the same as the Gentle Lady. It's just powered.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, and this particular kit came with the brushed NiCad motor, you know, and it was set up with a toggle switch. So you set a servo to actually flip the toggle switch on and off for powered flight. But I modified it for a brushless motor. I had to build a little motor mount for it, but boy, holy smokes, it flies really well. I didn't think I was putting that big a powerhouse in it, and today when I flew it, I punched it and did a loop with this plane. Luckily, I was up high enough that I could recover from that big loop. But
that's funny.
Well, looking back 30 years ago, my son and I, we got the kit and we built the Electra. And we went out to fly it, and we'd never flown before. And we'd throttle up and it went doing a loop, okay?
Yep.
And so we're trying to get something that kept wanting to loop and loop and loop and loop. And the old adrenaline was really, really flowing. And I was grateful when it finally crashed. But my son was so mad at me. So, but after I crashed, I'd gone through over and over in my head is what I was lacking to take control. And so we rebuilt it and went back out and we flew it, and it was just great. And so then I handed the radio to my son, and then he wound up going through the same thing and crashed it. But he was so mad at me because I crashed the first one. But I finally got even with it.
There you go. There you go. Well, it really wants to go straight up in the air when you put some power to it. Dave and I were talking about trying to mix in some down elevator when you hit the throttle.
Yeah.
Just so that it doesn't.
Well, it's even more so now because of the brushless motors. Where then we didn't have the NiCad batteries. I mean, we didn't have the polymer batteries. We didn't have the brushless motors, and so the power to weight ratio is anywhere near what that would be.
Well, I was surprised with the range of center of gravity that they recommend on there. They give you a whole 1/4 of an inch to work in. So, you know, it's pretty sensitive to the balance.
Well, there's more. I figured that had to be a Vernon creation over there. That's good looking.
Well, thank you.
It looks familiar.
It's a top flight kit. It's got a DLE 20 and Robark pneumatic reed tracks.
Yeah.
Have you flown it yet?
I have not flown it yet. I just finished it last month and I want to look at it for a while before I take it over the track. There's a lot of work in this sucker.
It was a kit?
Yes.
Kit.
The balsa old-fashioned kit.
Yeah.
Nice. I would just hang that from the ceiling.
That is so nice.
A lot of work.
Get you a Valium, take a Valium for it.
Before or after?
Both.
Yeah, oh.
You want to be mellow. Way to go.
It came out nice.
Yeah, thank you.
So did the decals and stuff come with the kit, or did you have those made? Or
Well,
make
it's
them?
kind of interesting. The kit, I got it off of KSL.com. The kit had everything in it but the decal sheet. So thanks to Cali Graphics, I have better decals than I would have had if the decal sheet would have been in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
She sure does a good job.
So how many channels? You got flaps, retract?
8.
8?
We got a choke,
Mhm.
flaps, retracts, ignition cut off.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go down there. I want to see you fly it right now.
Well, I have flashlights and just shine it on them while it's flying there.
Very cool.
How many hours do you think you have in it?
Oh my gosh. I started it last April. I kind of took the summer off and then finished. I'll bet I've got 200. I don't know.
Easy. Way
The only thing I built before was a trainer, like that. Those things, that's nothing compared to this thing.
Yeah.
Nothing's flat. The top of this piece, that's about 6 pieces glued together and then planed down, sanded. Everything is, this is the same thing. You glue flat pieces together and shape them. The only thing that came in the box that was not a flat piece of balsa was what do you call this thing?
Canopy.
Canopy, the machine gun ports, the bottom half of the cowl, and the scoop. Everything else is wood. Everything is sheeted except the rudder.
Okay.
Well, they are sheeted. That wasn't solid.
What does it weigh?
I haven't weighed it, but I think this kit says 8 to 10 pounds, if I remember correctly. But what is crazy, this is the only airplane I have ever built that I put it on the scale, the balancer, didn't have to do a thing to it.
Nice. The CG Mac? Yeah.
CG was right on.
That's
I
fantastic.
consider that quite a.
Well,
I don't have to hang a tire iron.
There's a few of us, and including Sam and Mike and the Nyatt and a bunch of us that have worked on these winter projects. We want to go out and do the maiden flights out at the Grantsville Airport. So we'll get some word out when that's going to happen and see if we can all head out there for a day and have some fun.
Yeah.
Watching all these new planes go.
We're gonna try to do our first aero tow out there in March, late March.
Okay.
So we'll see what the conditions are out there.
That sounds about right.
After these new guys, there's a field out in Grantsville that is enormous. It's a big salt pan and it's really, really big.
On Google Maps, it's called the Misty Way RC field, I think. Misty Way. So that's where we fly our large sailplanes.
Sounds fun.
No, that's where we tow the large sail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen that before, that is pretty stinking cool. So Dave is the president of the Utah Silent Flyers.
Intermountain Silent.
Intermountain. And it is just so neat to watch them take these giant, similar to this, but sometimes a lot bigger.
Like 3, 4 meter.
Just big sailplanes, and they'll get them way up there and release them. And they'll just float around and It's just neat. And it's weirdly
It's
quiet.
like watching paint dry.
Let me tell you, the towing is a little more exciting than that.
Yeah,
Okay.
very cool. Anybody else? Sam, you gonna talk about this confounded contraption here?
This is my nightmare for the past 5 months that I've been working on. Finally taking shape, needs a lot of changes. I'm only the second person who's built it. So I'm working with the designer to make some changes, to actually make it viable, decent for those that actually want power. So it's a twin 70 right now. His is set up on 4S. I was gonna do 6S, but got to shift a lot of things to make that happen and then put landing gear on it because I am now a landing gear guy and I would rather have landing gear than not. So,
We've had too many unsuccessful hand launches.
so
So if you're doing twin 70s, you're looking at like a 6L 5000 or like two smaller 3000s?
I was gonna do like a 6L 5000 is what I was gonna put in it, but there's gonna be quite a bit of redesign that has to work in order for the CG to be correct.
Yeah.
So on this currently, the fans sit here. And so they need to be moved further back, either back or the 6L. And a redesigned spot here for battery placement because it's real small for any kind of battery to fit.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Your
So-
Well, that's the
6L
power plant out that really
5000 is
wonder.
about
So it's been a long time in the works trying to figure it out, and I almost essentially throw the towel in on it, said screw it, pull the fans out, and toss it to whoever wants it. But we'll see what happens. I think I might just finish it, move it around. I don't know.
You gotta finish it. You've put so much love and.
Down to the south point of the mountain and just fly it as they glide.
There you go.
And launch it off. There's guys, some pretty good sized jets that are flying right off the slopes there.
Yeah.
It might work out, that's true.
I've had a couple that I contemplated on throwing away a half a dozen times, and those, both of them that I built, they were just the funnest aircraft. Well, partly because I'd given up mentally, and we're gonna throw them away, so I didn't care about them.
Right?
And so I just flew until the wings fell off, but they were both really good projects.
The most frustrating part is his plans they're still not ready to go out. So a lot of it was put it together, it doesn't fit, figure out why it didn't fit, make a change, recut, and do everything that way.
Yeah, when you're fabbing something up, there's a lot of trial and error.
But I did push him for the plan, push him for the prints, but
Who's the designer?
Jared Ruttenberger. So he's actually got a 14 he's got that's pretty close to the same. Quite a bit of plans actually on flight test form. So
What are your two channels, the white channels that are the main fuselage? Well,
here?
in the cells, whatever.
yeah, so because it's twin, so they go all the way through.
Are they just?
What's that?
So this is okay. That's what you're asking. Why?
What's the material?
So the brown is just flight test foam board, and the white is actually Depron. So it's 6mm Depron. That I'm looking to start moving over to from the foam board if I keep building planes of that nature.
You like the Depron better?
The Depron is actually a lot more friendlier in my opinion. It is a lot lighter because it doesn't have the paper, so you got to do a little strengthening in different spots. But you get more, a lighter plane to get more speed if you want more speed, kind of thing. Easier to build. If you don't mind doing the stuff.
Hard to find, isn't it?
It is hard to find. There's one guy that sells it in the US. His name's Greg, and it's I think it's RC Depron. Let's see. I just happened to, like last summer, buy I came across Tommy from Frequency, and he had 57 sheets, and they're bigger than the foam board sheets. I bought all of them for like $50, and it's like, heck, I might as well try it. And so,
Awesome.
Very cool.
Cutting edge stuff.
The reason why I was going with that, Ron, I was trying to mix it, see how it worked, see how I liked it. It's a lot easier to form. It kind of rolls nice. It doesn't put creases in anything. So, and it makes it nice for a fiberglass covering if you want a nice sturdy plane. So.
Very nice. And Anaya, do you have that Corsair done and ready to go?
To be honest with you, I just ordered the engine for it yesterday.
Ah, okay.
But the other one is almost ready. I have a Mitsubishi Zero.
Oh, very nice.
So that is almost ready to go. I have all the parts for it and everything is there for that.
And so it's gonna be a blast.
I'm
gonna take 2, he's taking 2. We're gonna.
Yeah. Very cool.
Bring your cameras.
Mark, did anybody buy your big Cub?
I'm talking to a guy from Grand Junction right now, but like I said, it's one of those things where I threw it out there, but it doesn't sell, and they just hang on to it till I get a trailer for it.
Cool. I actually was going to mention, I have a friend that is going to be selling a enclosed trailer. If anybody's looking to take things to the next level, he did not give me a price, but this would be kind of a, I think a great trailer because it's extra tall. It's like 7 feet tall. And I'll get details on that and send them out on the post, which brings up a good point for new guys. So you should be getting emails from us, but we have another way that we communicate that's really kind of cool. That if you're familiar with the app called GroupMe, we'll get you joined into our group, and that's great because people will say, hey, I'm heading out to the field, or what's the conditions like out there? And you know, if it's wet or warm or sunny or whatever, you kind of get a heads up and stuff like that. Plus you get to see how much Zach and Ronnie are off screwing around while the rest of us are at work.
Well, I've already abused my privileges on there, that's for sure.
Anyway, so we'll get you added on that. Don't forget I got to get your cell phone numbers to add you in there if you want to participate in that. So anything else we think of before we cut everybody loose?
If anyone ever saw Jeremy Soap, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yep.
His Eurofighter was quite the thing to behold, and last Sunday he lost connection and it sailed off into the sunset, and he has now said he's done with turbine engines.
Oh no.
Really? So I think he ended up having 6 or 7 flights on it, and then we were all standing there, and then he went to power down and off she went.
Oh no.
But it was, I watched him fly it a few times and it was something to behold.
Which direction was it headed?
We found it.
Oh,
it didn't go far. He went past the runway that he had set up. He runs a loop where he cuts, back towards the parking lot and then loops around that way. And right as he banked to cut over there and kind of throttled down, it just took off.
Oh shoot.
So luckily no fire or anything, but he has now said he is according to him now, he's officially done with the turbine engines.
Yeah, his wounds will heal. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He's a good pilot though, that Jeremy. He's got some fun stuff that he does.
Yep.
So I decided to sell my China Pro Cessna.
Oh nice.
My China Pro Cessna. My Cessna.
The big one.
Yep. It's your engine. Oh, you gave me the engine for it. So that would be maybe minus an engine. Where I but it needs one of the main landing gear fixed. And of course, you will have first shot at it. But I'm getting get rid of a Cessna.
That's too bad. That's a beautiful plane. And
I
so,
figure it's always gonna fly like a Cessna. I'm after something, I'm really excited about these warbirds, the Corsair and the Mustang.
Yeah.
Something that's gonna just do a
it's
little.
gonna challenge you a
faster.
little bit.
Make you work.
Make you work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Cessna makes you work when you land it. Because twice now I've broken that main landing gear.
Mm.
I've had 2 successful landings and 2 broken landing gear, so I'm feeling good.
Mm.
I mean, mine is flying really nice. I mean, I can
In Grantsville though,
yeah, but
mine were at the field,
Oh,
shorter runways. and
it is
bounce.
short. It is very short.
Yeah.
It takes a.
Anyway, I'll talk to you about that.
Hey, Graham,
Yes.
you saw the little 117 that I did the other day.
That thing was.
I got that out in the car. Should I bring that up and show it?
Sure.
It's not as nice as this.
Well, it's pretty neat though.
It's a good flying jet.
It's an original
Get it out of the car.
Dave Parker design.
Fly at FPV. I've got a few flights on FPV. It's fun.
So that picture, yes, doesn't fly at all.
All right, well.
That's an exaggeration. The trick is.
This is I started here, and I started with pieces on top. And I just started using.
Okay, Zach, he's not done.
Pieces, and so I finally got it.
He's not done. He still has his Thunderbird.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of these are set in Cali.
Everyone.
Support.
With that,
You buy
it's
one
nice.
of these small
No,
ones, that's-
Yeah.
I can put something under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought we,
That's really nice.
That's good.
And you did this in Monaco?
Sure.
Yeah.
everything outside.
No. John? Hanging in there?
Hang it in there.
Good.